Well, hello, dear listeners, and welcome back to the Reforming Nerdom podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jordan Cecile, and I am joined, not as always, but quite frequently, not frequently enough, by the one and only P. Nate, a.k.a. Pastor Nate, a.k.a. Nathaniel. P. Wright. Nate, how are you?
Doing great. It's great to be back on the show. It's been a little while.
It has, and we're also joined by Ben of the Cloth, a.k.a. Benjamin, a.k.a. Ben Emery, a.k.a. lost to his daughter for the first time at chess yesterday.
Wow.
Ben Emery.
That was cold.
Yeah.
That was cold.
How you doing, Ben?
It's called the cold open.
Yeah.
It is a cold open.
That was
There
a
you go.
cold open. I'm doing okay. I think last week, Jordan, I said how it felt like it's been 1,000 years since you and I had been on. It's been like 1,000,000 years since all three of us have been on.
Feels that way.
What would have been the last episode the three of us did? I mean, it's not like we've done 1,000,000 episodes, but I can't even remember. What was it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good
It
question.
wasn't
AI?
even,
Was it the AI episode? I don't even know.
No.
Oh, I don't know. I would have said the AI episode, but I'm
Yeah,
not
because I guess when Nate and
Although
Nate,
I was laughing so hard watching your episode last week, guys. Like, as you're sitting there having like a legit, like no smirk, just total real conversation about whether Lord Farquhar would be better or worse at ruling Canada than Bowser. And I was there for it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Great
that
episode.
was one of the
All
most
them.
fun things. Yeah, that was one of the most fun things we've done, I think.
It was so good. It was so
Because
good.
like some of them were a joke, but then it's like, you know what? President Snow legitimately has murdered less children than Mark Carney.
Legit. And what I found interesting, so just a shout out to you guys, is like I found myself listening, and obviously I'm listening. It was an episode of something I'm involved in that I wasn't on, but I was sitting there legitimately belly laughing and legitimately like I would be watching this whether I was involved in Reforming Nerdom or not. Like you guys, it was a great episode. You guys did really well. It was entertaining and just the right amount of like entertaining and serious stuff. Like, hey, what we're doing here is great, guys. It's good. I'd be in for
it. Ben's reaction when I gave him the list of people was just like such genuine belly laughing as well. It was like so good. I was like putting the list
Darth
together.
Vader. Like this is you guys voted Darth Vader King of Canada.
Well, and you know what? I was rebuked actually by Chris because he was like, so Darth Vader was never actually.
Yeah, I know. As
he's
he
was never the political
Never
leader.
held
like,
a political
Palpatine.
office. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but I don't think.
But see, Chris missed the point because the whole point of the thing wasn't that all these guys were like held political office.
That's true.
Right? Only a few of them did.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We were saying which supervillain would you rather have lead Canada? So
I mean, there are
Chris,
so many.
Speaking of
and
actually,
speaking of actually, on a side note, I wondered whether or not Darth Jar Jar
should have been in there.
included.
That's actually a in the new Fortnite season. It's a big Star Wars thing.
I was giving you a transition there, Jordan.
I know.
Out of the park. Well done.
Well, and so that actually is an interesting.
Nothing says transition like talking about the transition.
That's right. Well, because I played a little bit of Fortnite with Judah recently.
It's my son, for listeners who don't know.
And so, I mean, yeah, that's Nate's son and your nephew. And speaking of getting beaten by children, Ben, I can sympathize. Like just now, thankfully I was playing with them, but I'm playing this game with these 7-year-olds. It's like, what in the world? How is this even possible that you guys are as good at this as you are at 7? It was embarrassing.
It's
and
remarkable.
Then just as we were talking about it, like a big thing at our church, I'm holding right now, a Rubik's Cube. It's a speed cube. Because Ben, your daughter, did an awesome job as the sermon illustration for Nate, which, kudos to her getting up there in front of a few hundred people and solving a Rubik's Cube on the spot. And I want to throw this thing against a wall. It's so
tried to warn you.
It is so frustrating because now there's tutorials and I've watched some tutorials. I understand the basics and I got like the main square thing that you get. You start around the yellow and you get the whites. But man, is it just like kids have more time to do these things, or are we just are there certain things that are not meant for old people? I don't know.
I
It's
think
so frustrating.
I think both of those things are true. Like when Tessa
Yeah.
did it, she literally took like 24 hours, like just an entire day dedicated to doing nothing but that and figured out how to do it. And it's just like
All right.
I can't
Content
think of
content
any
idea. We record one of us until
time lapse.
until we get this thing solved.
That show would be rated differently than the rest of our shows with the amount of profanity, especially for Ben. Ben is just
Well, and then it would be an over under on the number of Rubik's cubes we would go through
yeah.
in trying to actually do that, because
That would
it would
actually
get
be good
trash.
content, though. That would be. I would.
Ah.
We should just like Patreon content. The three of us get into a room, and the winner
Last
is
one
the
to
first.
solve the Rubik's Cube just doesn't
Well,
make it out.
and you know what? Have it be where you can't actually, because I don't think any of us know the proper way to do it, right? Like you don't.
No.
Do you guys? Either of you know the algorithms at all? The
0%.
I've never watched.
Tessa
the
tried to
Twitch
teach
tutorial.
me one day,
Yeah.
and I could not have been like less interested or B understanding of a single word that she was
Did you
saying.
just speak Klingon to me?
Yeah.
Well, because there's so I've looked into it, and not that I understand what any of it means, but there's like up and then up prime.
Yeah,
and
there's
left
like a
prime,
legit, there's like
and
a language.
yeah, there is.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it's like the difference between rotating this way, that way, left, up. Like it's wild, and
Yeah,
so it would be funny to
you
see.
can rotate the middle, so like you rotate both of the other
Yeah.
two, which like essentially is like rotating the middle, even though the middle stays stationary. Sure.
I would like to know the three of us, each given a mixed up Rubik's Cube, not knowing those rules at all, how long it would take us to solve it.
Oh, it's like the blind monkey analogies for evolution. Like it's just
Yeah. So here's the thing. So
1,000,000 years later.
So Dr. Rubik, whatever, I think he was like an engineer.
That sounds like the villain from Sonic. What is that?
That
Dr.
you guys would
Robotnik?
probably make prime minister.
Yeah, that's right. So the guy who invented the Rubik's Cube, so this tells you how long it would take us. The guy who invented the Rubik's Cube made the first Rubik's Cube, mixed it up. It took him over a month to solve it the first time.
All right, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're committed to content. I'm not that committed to content. Yeah.
So-
Anyways,
So Tessa's
it is
Tessa's
not
better
something
than all of us at Rubik's cubes.
Yeah. She beat me at chess for the
Judah's
first
better at
time.
Fortnite,
with
and
no
I was just gonna get to
handicaps.
chess. So she
Yeah.
legit just beat you in chess.
Yeah, like she's beat me before where I've handicapped myself, where like she's allowed to take her time making moves and I pretend like I'm, like using the chess clock and have 1 second to think of my next move. And she's beat me doing that. And then yesterday she just legit just beat me in a no handicapped game of chess.
now how proficient, Ben, are you at chess? Like, would you have a reading?
Like fun. No. I've nothing like that. But I mean, like I've played since I was a kid, played it lots.
Like,
and
can you name moves? Like, are you one of those guys who could like actually
Like castling.
yeah.
Well, like there's like you listen to. I mean, what's his name? Who's that really
Noel?
big chess guy?
The
Magnus,
Swedish
Magnum?
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Magnus something.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've watched videos on YouTube. Just gotta find professional chess kind of fascinating. But yeah, there's actually like names or like strategies. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not the
Yeah.
name of the move, but it's like the strategy that you're.
So no, I'm
using.
nothing like that at all. I'm just, but
Okay.
like I'm an adult and she's 12.
My move is being adulting. That's my move.
That's my specialty.
I don't know. Did you find it was like a
Debatable.
mixed set of emotions, like one of abject shame, but then also like kind of proud of your daughter?
No, it was mostly just shame.
But like 12, I mean that's different, right? That's not like your 7-year-old. That's like she's becoming almost a teenager.
Yeah,
right? That's
thanks,
not,
man.
That's not that crazy.
Appreciate it.
Just trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't know. I don't really have as much of an excuse. Like Fortnite, Judah and his cousin just definitely dominated.
I'm pretty sure at one point because I was like taking care of chasing our 1.5-year-old around in the basement while they were playing. And I'm pretty sure at one point I looked over and Judah literally had your character on his shoulders running out of the storm. So I'm like, I
Yeah, it
think
might
you're
have been.
legitimately carrying
Yep.
Jordan on
Yeah, he
your
was.
shoulders. Like,
He was. Yeah. Well, I mean, the Star Wars Fortnite is actually a lot of fun.
it is. Yeah, it
I
is.
if you're a Star Wars fan, if you're a Fortnite fan, I love Fortnite. I don't know, Nate, like, I know you'll play with Judah. Is it a thing that you would play by yourself? Like, would you just
I
start
think if
playing
I
whenever?
I don't have a system. Our system's in the basement, which is kind of the kids' play area. So I think
Right.
if I maybe had something connected to the TV, like upstairs or something, and Colleen had fallen asleep, I might throw that on instead of normally I'll just throw on whatever hockey game's on or, The Office or something like that if I'm just looking for background noise. So I would, I think if it was set up differently. But it's just location and time and stuff. But I enjoy it as well. I like the game. So my favorite like shooter game was uh, Destiny. And I love something that you can just throw on for half an hour and feel like you just cleansed your mind and you did something fun. And I think like Fortnite is that. So I think honestly with some of our patrons in the Discord, we should just have a night where we team up a few, even if it's just for an hour and we play 3 games or whatever and rotate through and see who's terrible and who's good. And especially with the Star Wars one, like it is a fun season when you like can shoot somebody with force lightning and kill them in Fortnite. And as you said, if you can be Leonardo running around with a lightsaber and Air Jordan Nikes on, like that's hitting all the right notes.
Yeah.
That's me right now. Yeah.
How does like squatting up or whatever in Fortnite, like what does that look like if a bunch
So
of us were to
you
go on?
Yeah, so
I
you
think it's
log in.
5, isn't it, Jordan?
What's that?
Is it max 5?
Four.
Max party of 5? Oh, okay.
4. Yeah, you can go solo, you can go duo, trios, and you can go with 4.
All right.
And yeah, you can do cross-platform. I mean, like that the Epic really just brilliantly implemented and has executed on that game where it's just they've just figured it out and they're printing money and it's a great game. It plays well. I mean, I feel like we could have a whole episode just talking about Fortnite because it's fascinating how you have this game that older people like, young kids like. It is both complex but simple at the same time. It facilitates people who like myself who does not have any ability in the building
I was
and the
gonna say you
shooting.
guys don't
Like,
do the
no, we do.
build mode.
I do
Oh, I
0
can't do the
build because
build.
my brain can't do the building stuff, and so it's just they let you play where you're at, how you want to, cross-platform. It's free. Anybody can hop on almost anything. You can do like if you wanted to do Amazon Luna, which is just cloud streaming, you can do that. You can do game Xbox, everything. It's brilliant and it's a fun game. It's simple, and then like how they continue to iterate with new maps and characters, like the fact that you can play Star Wars right now, and it's just you can hold a lightsaber, it's blasters, you can go fly an X-wing or a TIE fighter. It's fantastic. It's
All
such a
right.
fun
We don't need to
such a fun
finish this
game.
episode, right?
No, well, and listeners, if you're still listening, if you'd believe it, that was not at all what we were planning on talking about. Either kids being better at us or better than us, or Fortnite. We were actually wanting to talk about Thunderbolts, the movie. And interestingly, I don't know if you guys have seen, no longer called Thunderbolts.
I saw that today, and I
Yeah.
don't like.
What?
I don't know.
No, I
I
didn't
don't know
see
what
this.
to think
So
of that.
update me.
So interesting. So the Thunderbolts movie, which came out on May 2nd, so just last week, already they're giving away some spoilers for the movie, which is a very interesting strategy. They have seemingly actually, and it ties into the movie, like there's a reason for it. It's no longer called Thunderbolts because it was always Thunderbolts with an asterisk, and people were speculating like, oh, what does that mean? That it's something else. And as is made evident in the movie, they're actually the new Avengers, which is really interesting because the new Avengers, all the speculation was supposed to be of, what was it, like Kate Bishop, Ironheart, I don't know who else. Who is the girl? Something America? No, something Chavez, the girl who was in Multiverse of Madness.
Miss Marvel, is it that one?
No, Miss Marvel would be in there as well. And then there was the girl, something Chavez. I forget. She was the
Yeah.
in
short
the
girl?
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
know who you mean,
remember.
but yeah, can't remember.
Something Chavez. Anyways, that was the talk of like they were the next phase of the Avengers. That was going to be the new Avengers. So it was actually kind of a big thing when in the movie they dropped that it's like they're actually the new Avengers. And then they went after like last week, gave it a week in the box or in the theaters, and they seem to be changing it. All the posters are changing to the new Avengers. Like the official channels are calling it the new Avengers, crossed out Thunderbolts, new Avengers, which is a really interesting thing.
It's a
Like it's
cool-
gotten people.
It's an interesting marketing ploy.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten people talking. It's just surprising that Marvel, who is notorious for swearing secrecy and crazy NDAs for their movies, are just like spoiling
Their
the
own
movie.
That's cool though. Like they're obviously going to get the diehards who are going to see it, and then it's almost like, oh, this is the new Avengers, and you'll get people who are like, oh, okay, I'll give the MCU another shot if this is the new Avengers. So they did it well. Maybe you would have waited an extra week or whatever, but that is cool. To my knowledge, that's never a marketing thing that's never been done like that before. So that's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
like literally
Yeah.
changing. Like I would assume they probably have even changed the, like did the theaters get a new role? Like does the
They
title
haven't yet.
screen change?
Yeah, I don't think so. And even I went and looked at Cineplex, and they didn't change the movie showing to be Thunderbolts. So I wonder if it's a thing that even the theaters might not have been in like the know of right off the hop.
Probably not. Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
say,
and
because
so-
otherwise it would've got out.
And yeah.
So yeah, no, so I mean, it definitely and like by spoilers, right? It doesn't give away any of the plot. Like it's just it's more of a so this thing that we were thinking was going to happen is not going to happen, and this is
It's this.
like the new
yeah.
Avengers.
The only thing
and
it
so-
spoils is that they're all alive at the end of it. So
Well, maybe.
or at least okay, fair enough.
So Jordan,
So listeners,
think
I'm the
Nate-
only one who has seen it. Let's
so
say
Nate
yeah.
and I did not get a chance to go see it, at least yet. Jordan,
Yeah.
you are the only one of the three of us who did go see it. So you want to
Who'd you
give
see it
us
with?
like a general impression before
Nate from
we grill
from
you
the
with some
Discord.
questions?
Nice.
Yeah. So why don't we? I'll give a bit of a high level. Well, why don't I first give my gut reaction?
Yeah,
What
give
my
us like
initial
thumbs up or
impressions
thumbs
are,
down. Like,
and then we'll kind of get into some details about the movie, and we can talk about some of the things like
Yeah.
performances.
And we're gonna be no spoilers, right? That's the
yeah.
intention
No,
here?
I will do my best to not spoil anything. I mean, they
At least
spoiled
nothing like
something.
super important.
Yeah,
Like the title of the
And-
movie.
I wouldn't have told people that they were now the new Avengers if as part of this, but now that Marvel did it themselves, well, here we are. So
Here we
there
are.
you go. So first gut reaction was I loved it. I really
Nice.
did. Yeah. It felt like old Marvel, and that was such a pleasant surprise. I didn't have. I mean, like when we did our movie review predictions, I think I had said that like I think it's going to do well. I mean, I do have our review scores and the Rotten Tomatoes, so we can kind of get an update on where everything's at with that. But I thought it was going to do okay. It ended up it's doing great. It has 88% on Rotten Tomato and a 94 on the what is it, the Popcometer? So the fans
popcorn
94.
meter,
And yeah, I thought it was great. I really did. There's things in there that, I mean, if we were to, if we're analyzing it from a Christian worldview, yeah, certainly there's going to be things there where it's like, yeah, I wouldn't say that, or that's obviously not the way that one would maybe understand that or how you would fix that problem. But I'd say just like for what it was as a movie in our day and age, I thought it was great. The dynamics of the Thunderbolts or the New Avengers were awesome. They all actually worked really well together. The actual action was really good. Some of the the humor is what the biggest thing that really landed for me, where it's like, oh, this is actually funny, and it's not like forced or contrived. It was just it felt like a Marvel movie, where it
Nice.
had the really clever writing, it wasn't forced, and there was no overt woke stuff. Maybe I just missed it. I don't know. Maybe they did such a good job of capturing my attention, but there wasn't any gender stuff. I mean, there's obviously Yelena is this like 5 foot whatever chick who's a super assassin. Okay,
Yeah.
but I
Same. I
mean,
mean,
like
like same as Black Widow
it's
always
been
was.
there. So it's
Yeah.
like that. It wasn't like she was trying to say like, oh, I'm obviously better and stronger than all of you because I'm a woman. There was no race stuff, which was good. It was just actually, yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
So
Nate also really enjoyed it, who I went with, who is in our Discord. So we both, yeah, we were thoroughly impressed.
nice. So I have a question, Jordan. I was watching Andor the other night, trying to catch up on that and doing a really poor job at doing that. But while I was watching, every 5 minutes it seemed it cut to a Thunderbolts commercial. And one of the things it said in the commercial was that it was the best MCU movie since Endgame. Would you agree?
Okay, give me 1 second. I want to see what are MCU movies. So since Endgame, the ones that have come out, I guess, would there be like the big ones that people liked? There was Spider-Man,
Spider-Man? Yeah.
No Way Home, I think.
I don't know. I
Um,
can't get those
yeah, those
the
I always
subtitle.
mess up. I
Yeah.
always mess those up. But so like phase 3, what do we have here? We have Endgame, we have Spider-Man Far From Home, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals. Oh yeah, Far From Home was before, then it was No Way Home. Doctor Strange, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumanium, Guardians of the Galaxy. So if I'm looking at that list, there's ones here that I haven't seen. So okay, Eternals was hot garbage. Spider-Man was great. Doctor Strange was not good. Thor was not good. Black Panther, I have not seen the second Black Panther.
Yeah, I haven't either, actually.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, I've heard across the board people hated it, and it
Saw
was
it,
just
was bad.
essentially,
Yeah.
yeah, essentially from what I understand, communist propaganda pretty much. And so haven't seen that. Guardians, I heard was good, but not as good as the other ones. So from what I have seen though, I would say absolutely, aside from the Spider-Man. Like I'm still more of a Spider-Man fan, but
Yep.
out of all the ones I have seen in this list since then, for sure. Like this was
Thanks.
leaps and bounds above better. I would put it above some of the like the phase 2, 3 ones. Like I like this better than Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel for sure. Doctor Strange I like, but I'd say this was probably better than that. Avengers Age of Ultron, maybe. I'm not a big Josh Whedon fan, is that what it is? So yeah, I would put this in that like higher tier. I thought like the humor was really good. Like
Nate, maybe we have
you'll
to go see it now.
oh
Well,
yeah, no,
I
for
did
sure.
want to see it. I wasn't holding out for any reason. I just couldn't make it this weekend. But yeah, no, I would like to see it for sure.
Yeah, like the Yelena and Red Guardian
Yeah.
were so good. Like Red Guardian, I think stole the show. He was
I'm not
hilarious.
surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Like he leaned into that role and just owned it with just like the thick Russian accent and just had so much fun with it. And he was so funny. And then like their dynamics together were really good. Yeah, no, so yeah, I would say higher than a lot. I mean, I feel like we do need to put together our list, like the Reforming Nerdom MCU list that will require us going back and watching some garbage. So, I mean, for the sake of
For
the
science?
show
Yeah.
and science,
Like
I'll
doing
do
it
it.
for the people.
Like Black Panther, don't really care to see that, but yep, if we have to. Ant-Man, I really don't want to see that, but I will. So yeah, I think we need to, but so out of all of it, yeah, I would put in the higher echelon. As to where exactly I would place it, not sure, but it'd be higher than a lot.
Like definitely better than Brave New World that we recently saw.
Oh, well, it's interesting because I saw somebody speculate. If you guys remember with Brave New World, it didn't have the Marvel intro, with the
Yes, I do.
logo and
I remember that. Yeah.
and it didn't have that. And so people were saying that whether there's any truth to it, where like Marvel wasn't really in love with the project and didn't want it to be just like a staple in the MCU. And it was like, well, we're going to release it. We kind of have to tie up these loose ends with the Hulk, which was really what that movie was. And this one then did have it again. So it's like, oh, so it seems like even in the you wonder if in the thinking of Marvel, this is almost that reset that needed to happen. And I ended up listening to a couple different reviewers, and one of them was Nerdrotic, who he's like a very right wing guy, and he trashed on it. And I didn't actually agree with a lot of what he was saying. I understood some of his points, but he still was kind of harsh on it. But then I listened to Kind of Funny, which is a group of guys that I used to listen to. And interestingly, with them, they were saying how, oh man, this feels like Marvel is back. And so, which is interesting because they are as woke lib guys as you can get. And yet they still identified that there was something wrong
Yeah,
with the
they
last.
realized that Marvel went away somewhere.
Yeah.
Now
And
it's back. Yeah.
and so they don't, it's just, it's interesting how they don't, whether they know this or not, but bad storytelling is just bad storytelling. And when you have these like woke political things where you're not actually caring about writing a good story and having good characters and it's about a message, well, that's where art dies. And they even picked up on it. So now they're all excited because it feels like Marvel's maybe moving back in the direction where we want them to be. It's like, oh, well, interesting how movies that you guys say with your mouth that you would champion because it's all pushing all these liberal agenda and little liberal ideology things, but they don't actually like the movies. And yet here we are, and they like the movie. It's not pushing anything, and it ends up just being a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so for listeners who might not know about this movie, if you're listening to this, you probably are aware of Thunderbolts, now known as the new Avengers. Just a little bit of details here so you can get a better sense of the project. It was directed by Jake Schreier of Beef and Paper Towns. I don't know if either of you guys know either of those.
Didn't he do an episode of Skeleton Crew?
Jake Schreier? I'm not sure.
I feel like that rings a bell.
I only have a couple. I think these are maybe the most notable. Again, it was released on May 2nd, has a runtime of approximately 2 hours and 15 minutes, estimated budget of $180 million, marketing budget of $100 million, and opened with $162 million globally. Now, interestingly, it opened lower than Brave New World.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. The 3-day opening was lower domestically, at least. It hit 76 million. Brave New World was 88.8 million, and then globally 192.4. So yeah, this opened lower, even though this is getting way more praise critically from viewers as well. This is way better, but yet, and so I think we're just seeing though that it's going to maybe take some time to for Disney and Marvel to start righting the ship, and I guess we'll see if they continue to do that. But yeah, I think this was definitely a step in the right direction.
Yeah, good. Can confirm he directed episode 5 of Skeleton Crew. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to see here. I had a whole bunch of notes here that.
Yeah, we could just ask you a few questions.
Yeah.
To get some of our listeners, set up to see, what do we expect? You mentioned that that there's a good amount of comedy in it. Like, would that be are you walking away from that thinking you just watched a comedy? Obviously, there have been a bit more gritty iterations of MCU type movies. Like, did they find that balance? Like, how was it in terms of its comedy? Because I think that was one of the things that the original, like phase 1 and 2 did really well, was just the backplay. It was very funny without like trying to make it like Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yeah, I think they balanced it really well because one of the major messages in the movie was depression and dealing with depression. And so that was one of the negative pieces of one of the pieces of criticism from Nerdrotic was that it was just them trying to have this like dialogue over the realities of depression. And this is where, I mean, we would disagree with just how they interpret depression as this, external force that is entirely separated from the individual, right? Because that's how people typically understand,
Right.
Much like drunkenness or other sins. They would say, oh, I'm an alcoholic. thus I don't need to be held culpable or responsible.
Yeah.
So they definitely try to do that in this, and they do, where they try to make depression seem like this void. And if you watch the movie, you'll understand what I mean by that. But this void, this thing, this entity that is independent and it's beyond your control, and you're helpless before it. And so the tone of the movie is definitely like kind of dark. And I mean, if anybody ever has struggled with depression, I mean, it's not fun. And for those who really, no, it is a sin that has to be dealt with. But the movie deals with and brings up some of these legitimate traumas that happen that then lead to people often being in a pretty dark place. And so it's heavy at times. So I think the fact that there were many instances where I was legitimately laughing out loud, I think they did a really good job of balancing it. But the one thing that really stood out to me, and Nate and I were talking about it as we were leaving, was yes, the ultimate answer to how do you deal with or have victory over depression, we would all say is only found in Jesus, right? Like that's the simple answer, is that Christ is the only way that you can have true victory over depression, and battling that sin. But what's really interesting in the movie was just how there's a sense of, Nate, you had said in Stormlight, one of the things that in later midway through the books, it kind of gets frustrating with some of the characters, how they allow their battles with depression to help them justify negating their duty and responsibility. In this, they kind of say like, no, like you can't do that. Like you still got stuff to do. Like,
Yeah.
get
Like
up.
almost the opposite, where
Yeah,
just
yeah,
doing
which
your
was really,
duty and getting to
yeah,
work
like you
actually
exactly, like you
helps your
still,
depression. Yeah.
that's right. Like you have stuff that you need to do. You can't just sit in your room and wallow. Like, yes, it sucks that this happened, but and then the other aspect of it is just like the community aspect of it, where you're never going to be able to uh, have victory over these types of things by yourself. Isolation is not the answer. And so, yes, it didn't get to the real answer to the problem, but it was really good to see that they were at least addressing some of what is true. Like that is true. Like if you're isolating yourself, you are just gonna
Like would you say
continue
like
to wallow.
the messaging was not, because like I would say a lot of times the messaging when it's talking about depression and anxiety and things like that, that like it's just they're just okay with it, and you have to be okay with it, and you have to just like learn to live with it, as opposed to like
That is
we're
kind of, yeah. Like again, because like the world doesn't have a true answer for it, right?
yeah.
Like they don't. So it was kind of like, again, I don't want to get too much into it, but instead of just, the answer is not to just push it down and not deal with it and just try to continue on as if nothing's happening. Like you have to deal with and confront whatever these issues are, because that is a big part of the movie, is confronting these traumatic things that perhaps have happened in someone's life. And it's not, the answer's not to just, yeah, run from it or to wallow in it. So again,
Yeah.
we're
I mean,
trying to
yeah.
throw them a bone at least in something, and like the answer is better than what it could have been.
I think their
Um,
answer is like step one
yeah, yeah, don't
of the
isolate
real
yourself.
answer, right? Like that's
Yeah,
how I would
yeah,
counsel somebody who's in
yeah,
depression, would be like step one, like the Jordan Peterson thing. Like, yeah, like make your bed. Like, you know what makes you
yeah,
feel even worse is when your room's a mess
Yeah. Being
and like the
depressed
dishes
in a
aren't
messy
done.
room.
And yeah, like, so like, y- yeah, like you say, throw them a bone. Kudos where they at least get it partially right.
yeah, yeah. So I thought that was, and that was like a big criticism from Nerdrotic, was he just was like, oh, here we are dealing with depression. It's like, yeah, but like I don't think that's a wrong. If somebody hasn't dealt with, like, again, even how modern psychology or whatever would call it depression, we would just say, well, no, you're in sin. You're either dissatisfied with the life God has given you, or you've done something, or something was done against you, because that is something that is beyond your control, or just the nature of living in a fallen world. So I don't think the right answer is just to belittle the fact that somebody's dealing with it. Like, I don't think either of you guys, if somebody came in and said, I'm depressed, would just be like, well, stop sinning, or just like get over it. Like, it is a real thing that to different degrees and levels that You
Yeah.
know, I don't know if
Like
you guys have.
there are external like forces and circumstances that get you to that point. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean that those can't be overcome, but like you
yeah,
don't just pretend that those things aren't happening and that's how you fix it.
yep, yeah. So it did that. So again, credit where credit's due. Like there were things I didn't like about the movie. Like they were a little bit more crass than in previous movies. Like some of the language was a little bit went beyond what one would have
Okay.
expected from a
That's what I was
Marvel
gonna
movie.
ask. So, we not too long ago, I think my oldest boy, Theo had watched like the original Avengers movie with me a while ago, but I don't think any of the other kids had. And so we watched that one all together, like even my 5-year-old, and it was like super clean. I think I fast forward. I don't even remember what it was. I think I maybe fast forwarded like one or two little things just because of how little some of the like the littlest ones were. But like you would like that's not exactly what the new Avengers is like.
Yeah, and I don't think I would watch this one with my kids of that age. Yeah, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
mean, that was my
couple
impression just
instances.
from the trailer. I'm not
Yeah, like
surprised.
it was darker. I mean, anytime you're dealing with, I think, this like anti-hero idea where you have these bad guys who are having to do a good thing, but they're still kind of bad guys. It's and that's where like maybe one of the, if we're talking about layers of inception here, where maybe one of the things in this where Disney's trying to blur that line of good and evil and right and wrong, because but it could also be that they're wanting to show that there's redemption in these people, like, because so much of the trauma that some of these characters are dealing with is things that have happened in their past or things that they've done in their past, which then brings up the question, I mean, as we would all say that, well, it doesn't matter what you did. Anybody can be renewed,
Yeah,
anybody
like
can
do
be
do the
born
next
again
right
and
thing. Yeah.
right? And so that's definitely a thing that they address. So it seems I'm not sure, and like I don't want to think too much on it because I don't want to always just find the negative, but like it could be that what is a hero? I mean, it seems like the days of Captain America where
Mhm.
he is just obviously doing the right thing and lives to do the right thing, and his like
Yeah.
mission is to do
To the
right
point
and
to the point where he drives all the other Avengers kind of crazy for it, like where they're just like,
Mhm.
"Oh, here goes Captain America." But like, would
Yep.
you say so you talk about the anti-hero thing. I remember when we did the Rotten Tomato episode, I talked about how just from the trailer, it kind of felt like Marvel's Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
right? But like with a Marvel touch, so it's like a little bit lighter, a little bit
Mhm.
funnier. Because Suicide Squad, like those are bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, I don't think there's really much redemptive
And they're not
quality,
family movies
like,
because of
definitely not family, but, like, would you say like, do you still think that's an apt comparison? Uh, and if so, like, where do they differ? How do you feel about that?
Well, yeah, I think the characters aren't. I mean, Bucky's one of them, right? And Bucky was the Winter Soldier, but now he's like a senator, which I think we saw in Brave New World.
Yeah.
So, like, out of all of these people, the only one who I think would be considered like actively a criminal would probably be Yelena, because she's like this assassin. But I'm not even sure if she would be characterized as
Is she,
that
like at
because
the point of this movie, would she be, like, an assassin for hire kinda thing? Like, where is she even
yeah,
at?
yeah. I mean, and you kind of find that out, like, that's right at literally how the movie starts is she's on a job. Um, but as to whether it is for some private mercenary or some other entity is not maybe necessarily totally clear. So it's like, I don't, all the Suicide
If
Squad
you're an
people, like, they are
assassin
just
for the good
for the,
guys, are you a
and
good
that's,
guy?
yeah. And so that's where it's like, it kind of deals with that a little bit where there's a blur there without getting into too much, but like she's hired to do these jobs, but the person who has hired her, it's like, well, you are, but you aren't a private mercenary government kind of person, right? And so
Yeah.
I think even I guess that's not really like a huge spoiler because even in Black Widow at the end of it, Julia Louis Dreyfus, meets her, I think in like the cemetery. So like that's kind of that's in the trailers. Like Julie Louis-Dreyfus is a prominent character in the movie. So, but Suicide Squad, like they're all criminals. Like they're all. So I would look at them kind of different in that, because like Bucky's not a bad guy. Red Guardian in this is not a bad guy. Even old Captain America, what's his name? He has another name.
I don't know.
I
Fake
know he's Kurt
Cap
Russell.
is all I ever call him.
Yeah, fake Cap. I know the actor is Wyatt Russell. Yeah, John Walker, U.S. agent.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
So yeah, like none of them are active fugitives. So I'd say it is different. It definitely feels lighter for sure. And yeah, just the humor, the dynamics and the humor amongst all of them is awesome. Like they really, the chemistry was spot on. They really nailed it.
One
Like
of the
all of
things
yeah, go
when we
ahead, Nate.
watched Captain America, we all kind of thought like those few minutes when Bucky shows up, we're all like, all right, Bucky, just strap it on and bring this thing home for us. Like, did Bucky kind of steal the show here, or was it like the original Avengers where there really is a sort of 5 different people would walk out and say, oh, I liked Vision, I liked Captain America, I liked Iron Man, I liked Thor?
I would be surprised if anybody walked out and it wasn't Red Guardian or Yelena. Yeah, I don't. Bucky was not the central guy. Like there was a moment in it where Bucky has a pretty, if I may say, badass moment, and it's like, okay, that's really cool. It was pretty sweet.
I feel like
but
they've
he was
done Bucky kind of dirty.
he was
just
not
don't
the central
understand.
character. Yeah, he should
Ever
be
since
Captain
Winter
America.
Soldier, that was
Yeah.
one of the most highly regarded of like when MCU was firing on all cylinders. That was one of their most highly regarded movies, and people have been dying for more Bucky, and they just keep putting him in as like a minor sidekick, like show up for 5 minutes. I don't know. It's really
So
weird.
he was definitely in this movie. Like there, and when I say he wasn't like prominent, I just don't think like Yelena was the main character.
Yeah.
Which
you can tell from the trailers as well.
And it felt like the continuation from Black Widow, which is fine, right? Like, but that is what it definitely felt like. And she was actually great. Like again, good balance between the serious and the humor. I could not see anybody watching this and not think leaving being most in your mind Red Guardian or Yelena. Like they were, to me anyways, and to Nate as well. Like Bucky was, again, he was there, he was good. They actually let him fight, which was fun. Like you actually saw him using his arm that he got from Wakanda. So all of that was good. You saw Bucky more in the way he was and not just suited up as a senator, which like in Brave New World, that's all he was. So it was more of that, but not, he should be Cap. I think that's the problem is they didn't give him the shield and they gave it to Anthony Mackie. And that was just
Silly.
a wrong move, right?
Yeah.
That was just, and I don't know if there's a way of really correcting that. Maybe there will be. There's like a thing there at the end of the movie where there's a possibility there. They left things open where it's like, okay, what are you doing there? Because Mackie was mentioned, and it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with it. But I don't want to get into too much more there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I don't know how much time we got here, but
well, one of the things I really wanted to ask, because this is, and some people like it, some people don't. I don't, but I was just curious. Is this like a continuation in terms of one storyline, one thing, or is this like setting? Because we speculated after Captain America that it was all multiverse stuff now. So is this like setting up a multiverse for us, or is this setting us up for a legit like one storyline, like moving toward an end game?
No, so this is definitely setting things up for the future.
Okay.
Like
so
this is
it's not kind of looking like it's going to be multiverse from here on out. It looks like it's actually just moving in one storyline.
Like it's
like one.
I don't know if those are
storyline is my point.
So I don't think those things have to be mutually exclusive.
So like it's setting up. It's if this is the new Avengers and the Marvel kickstart, restart, whatever, like this must be setting up
Yeah.
like Fantastic Four, Galactus, Doctor Doom, all that stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah. It definitely is.
Yeah.
And that's where I think just the multiverse stuff is just now part of any story arc in the MCU. I
you
think
can't
it's
get
just
rid
a
of it.
lot.
It's
No, and
a Pandora's
yeah,
box kind
it
of
is.
situation with the
Yeah.
multiverse.
And so I think the speculation for Fantastic Four was that it is an alternate reality Fantastic Four.
like
that's been
a branch on the timeline or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think for them to bring all these characters, because like I think it was announced that those Fantastic Four characters are going to be in Doctor Doom, which is bringing like everybody back together. So yeah, I think that we're not getting away from the multiverse, which I hope they just tone it down a little bit. I think it was becoming a little bit much, but it definitely seems like this was was this the first or the last of that? This is either. What are we? Because we're in no, this was the last of phase 5. So
Okay.
now
Mm.
the end of this movie tees up for
The next
phase
phase.
6.
Gotcha.
Yeah, phase 6, which starts with the Fantastic Four first steps, then Avengers Doomsday. And so we have about Fantastic Four comes out on July 25th of this summer, and then the next Marvel movie is not until May of 2026.
Oh wow.
So they're definitely reducing the amount of output, which I think needed to happen.
Yeah.
Big time. And so, but yeah, I mean, overall,
I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four. Like that's definitely
Yeah.
one I'm gonna go see.
oh yeah, I am as well. And they're like the trailer that they played at the beginning of the movie again was like, yeah, I'm for this. I'm all for it. Now, I guess in terms of a score, I went and looked at. We gave Brave New World a 4 out of 10. Is what we gave it as our Reforming Nerdom score. I would give this movie easily like a 7. I would give this a 7 out of 10, which is like, this was a
Respectable.
really good movie. And that's like 10 in my scale and how I'm thinking about it. 10 is Endgame,
Yeah,
epic,
like you're
one of the great,
rating
like
these at compared to only
yes.
other Marvel movies, right?
Yeah, so if this is a 10, I would put something, or sorry, if Endgame is a 10, I would put something like
like you're not ranking
Thor
this alongside Citizen Kane or anything.
No. So Thor Ragnarok would be like, to me, like a 9, like excellent, really good. So like maybe a 7.5, I'd be okay. Like let's just say 7.5,
Like,
because I think it might
is
be
it rewatchable?
Oh, 100%. I
'Cause
will,
think
when this comes out,
yeah.
I will watch it again for
To
sure.
me, that's kind of
Yeah.
like 7 out of 10 is sort of the cutoff point where like it was good, but I probably wouldn't watch it again. Like above a 7 is
Yeah.
like
No,
my
if that's what we're thinking, like definitely, I will absolutely watch this movie again for sure. Yeah, I enjoyed it enough.
Good.
Now,
Well,
why
I'm
don't
now
we real
looking
quick?
forward to seeing it probably
Yeah.
even more than I initially was.
Yeah,
Me too.
I think you guys will actually enjoy it, and it's one where there's no agenda. It was really good. I mean, Brave New World didn't really either, and I think that was one of the
we were
things that
pretty
we
happy
said
with
was
that
what made it
aspect of it.
watchable. Yeah,
Yeah.
I won't watch Brave New World probably
It
anytime
just
soon,
kinda
but this
stunk.
one, yeah. So just for our listeners, to review, so our movie score predictions, I just want to give an update on where we're at, current point totals. And
Oh,
so for
boy.
this movie in particular, let me pull it up. It had an 88 critic score and a 94 audience.
Oof.
Ben, you had said it would be a 64 critic and a 79 audience. So you were short 24 points and short 15 points. So 0 points for this movie. Nate, you said it would be an 81. So you were 7. So that means you got 2 points. Oh, wait.
Well done.
Oh, no, within 10. Oh, is that not adding up properly? That might not be adding up properly. Anyway, so you'll get points for that. And then you also said a 76 for the audience, and it was a 94. So you don't get any points there. And then I had said it would be an 80 critic score and a 78 audience. So I got points for that. So currently, if these numbers are correct, which I actually don't know that number. I think should be a 2. So I think, Nate, you and I believe currently, I'll have to double check, but are at 15 points each for our movies, which includes The Electric State, Snow White, Minecraft movie, and now Thunderbolts. Ben, if these are correct, which I'm going to have to go and confirm, you're at 5 points.
But I'm the real winner.
Regression
But-
fairy. That's the regression fairies coming for Ben on.
I will
Nerdom.
say, I will own this one. The worst prediction belongs to myself.
Which was?
That was for The Electric State.
Oh yeah,
I said
you gave that glowing. Yeah,
I gave it a 75, and it was 15. Nate or Ben, you gave it a 65. Nate, you gave it a 68. So, and Parker gave it a 70. So, like, we were all off.
So, but like, do I get
But
nothing
I was
for
off
being the closest?
No.
Come on.
No, that's not how this works, Ben. So,
How it
as
works
of right
in my
now,
heart.
and so yeah,
And that's all that really matters, Ben.
I feel like
And I follow
those-
my heart. If
Okay, wait,
if
as
Disney has taught me anything,
That's right.
As I'm looking at this, I think I might actually have 1 point up on Nate.
I don't
And
think it's right.
no, that would be a 2. No,
what
actually,
did I get?
shoot,
points
I actually
for?
think Nate's in first. No, Nate's in first. Nate
That
has
sounds right.
14. I have 12. Ben has 5.
What
That's
did
what
I
it
get
is.
5 points for?
You
What was I even
were within
close on?
2 points. You said The Electric State, the audience. You said a 72, and it was a 70. So
Oh.
you got 5 points for being within 5.
Have any
job,
of us
Ben.
watched that yet?
I have not actually. No,
After I
I
saw
keep
I
forgetting
got
to.
15%, I wasn't like
Running for it.
overly yeah.
Yeah, but audience is 70. That's not terrible. I mean, Snow White has an audience of 73.
Yeah, that's true. Audiences are
So-
dumb.
Yeah. So, anyways, I probably will. I've just been trying to catch up on Andor as well,
Oh, man.
and
I have some. So we were originally gonna do, and maybe we still will. So I appreciate them releasing 3 episodes at a time. I suppose it
I
makes
don't-
it
I don't appreciate it.
really difficult to do like what we did with Skeleton Crew and
Yep.
be able to do like the weekly recap because it's
Yep.
just so much to get
I know.
through. Like
Yep.
I can't find the time to do it. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I haven't even finished episode 3 yet.
yeah, the
Um,
timing was terrible with Nate and I being in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Because I just like didn't have time. We were either working or going and sightseeing, or we were all hanging around by the pool. And then by the time we went to bed, it was like, yep, I'm KO'd, and I just like passed out. And so I just had no time to do it. And so maybe what we need to do is we should try our best to catch up a little bit and just do a season review.
I think
think.
so. I think that's all
And
I'll be
then-
able to get done. But
Yeah,
okay,
and so
but
we
let
can
me. So where are you at?
I have watched the first 2 episodes.
Okay, and you finished season 1 and you watched the first 2 episodes. So,
Did you notice a big difference? I mean, I realize we're pivoting away from.
yeah, I
From
was
Thunderbolts
gonna
now.
say if you guys are okay with it, I have like a 2-minute.
But did you
Uh,
know? Does it seem like there is a higher budget in this season? Like the cinematography
I would say the
seems obviously better.
cinematography, the special effects. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't have a significantly higher budget if you like account for inflation. Like it's actually pretty
Yeah.
similar.
Hmm.
I just think they knew what like this season they knew what they were getting into kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just having a really hard time getting into it, to be honest. I also had that with season 1. Like I thought at the time, I remember feeling it was really slow at the beginning and I didn't love, like I liked it, but I didn't love it. I'm just like, now that I'm actually kind of like missing Skeleton Crew. I'm just like, I don't know. I think I'm just getting old and
Yeah.
curmudgeonly.
Well, you are. Yeah,
And
I get it.
I just want fun Star Wars. Like I just
Mhm.
want lightsabers and I just want space battles and I just want the Force and Jedis and like I'm kind of not loving the like politicking and the like
It seems like they're
senators.
trying to do the Game of Thrones in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Is kind of what this feels like, and I agree. It's
Right.
lost its fun and whimsiness.
Yeah.
And
And I mean, and I know it's on purpose. Like I know, like, and
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
they're not. It's not like they're not doing exactly what they're trying to do. it's just like not hitting it for me like I was
Mm.
hoping it would.
Right.
I think the funny enough, like the parts and the characters and the storylines and story arcs that I'm enjoying I'm just like, I actually really love the Empire.
Yeah.
The
It- I thought that as well. Like the getting a peek behind the curtains of the decision making that happens within the Empire, and
Yeah.
that it's not just like
It
Palpatine and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
It's actually been interesting. Yeah.
And I it's funny, and I don't know if this is on purpose or like if it's intentionally trying to get people to feel this way, but like you kind of just hate all the rebels. And
Yeah.
like they're all a bunch of dinkuses and nobody knows what they're doing and
What
they
you
all
don't
Mon
know
Mothma
is that the globalists have taken control of Disney, and they're
Yeah.
just trying to actually reverse it around. The
Yeah.
Empire's the good guys,
that's what
everybody.
I'm
Don't
saying.
hate the state.
Well, I
Like
had a
they're
friend of
all
mine, and
Yeah.
I had a
don't
friend
know.
who was kind of joking, but it was also maybe like an actual question. He's like, well, if we're during COVID and we were talking, Star Wars came up. He's like, well, I mean, if we're supposed to submit to the government, weren't the rebels in sin then for not submitting to the government? It's like, well, at this time, I wish when I had this conversation, I was equipped to answer that properly, because this was a conversation when I had no answers for. It's like, maybe you're right, and maybe we're supposed to just like the boot
Yeah.
on our throat. I don't know, but yeah, I agree, because some of the characters, like Mon Mothma's sister or cousin, can't stand her.
Yeah.
Can't stand her at all.
Yeah.
She's really annoying.
Like
But anyways,
honestly, Cassian's kind of always been annoying to me. Like never been
he's
a
just
like a
just
great
a big
leading
jerk.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a jerk. He's
Yeah.
kind of selfish. Well, not kind of, very selfish, and yeah. Anyways, we'll see. I
We'll
mean,
we'll do a full on Andor thing, but I was curious if you guys were into it yet at all, what your really initial thoughts
yeah,
were.
it's been really hard for me. I've just been really, really enjoying reading lately. So even just sitting down at night to watch a show, it's like, I'd really rather read a book.
And like hockey playoffs are on and
It's
baseball's
true.
just started
Yeah.
and I'm
Hockey's
like,
been
"Ah,
bonkers lately.
goodness." Yeah.
I know.
The game, like the Winnipeg game 2
That
nights
was
ago,
insane.
what was it? The latest game tying goal in a game 7 ever.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it was like less
1.6
than 2
under 2
seconds, right? It's like
seconds.
1
Yeah,
point something.
1.6 seconds.
It's like a
and,
buzzer beater, which is
uh,
crazy.
yeah. I mean, my bracket hated the Colorado game a couple nights ago where they were up 2-0 with like half the third period left and then lost 4-2 in the third. Like that sucked.
It is cool actually just looking at the kind of the storylines of this playoffs though, because like Rantanen, right? Obviously, like he just went wild in that game 7 and he won it for the Stars. So that's kind of just an interesting story of redemption for him. Traded from the Abs, and there was a lot of speculation, went to Carolina shortly and then off to the Stars. So anyway, that's interesting. Even the Jets pulled it out, but like Hellebuck looks broken.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting.
Is he the front runner this year for what is it? Is it the Vezina?
Hands down, one of the best goalie seasons in the last decade.
Yeah.
You
And like
know-
for the past 3 years has just been like the consensus best goalie in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just
Yeah.
terrible
like-
in the playoffs. He's like Clayton Kershaw, except on skate.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd
Well,
like to see that actually.
As
Yeah.
we all know,
Uh,
Morgans can't skate.
our American listeners, if
Common-
you don't appreciate
knowledge.
hockey, you need to. Like Melissa and I, we were talking about it just as whatever, random conversation last night while we're watching the Leafs game. It's like the fact that these guys are doing these things with a stick and a puck is crazy, but they're also doing it on pieces of metal, skating around. And when you watch like what they're doing, the fact that they're doing all those things together, it is such an underappreciated. And you can just get into a bare knuckle boxing match in the middle of a game.
Yeah.
Like what other sport? Show me,
Yeah,
Americans.
Honestly, I think the only thing harder than playing hockey in the sports world is maybe hitting a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
It is. It's like, actually, like probability wise, it actually is the hardest
Other
thing
than
to
that,
do. Yeah.
hockey is skill wise, difficulty wise. Like, I don't think there's anything harder.
And you don't see hockey players complaining. I mean, like look at last night, the Leafs goalie.
Stolars.
He's like puking over the bench because he got hit in the head, and he goes back in and keeps playing. It's like, I mean, you should probably take a seat.
And then the guys who watch that are on like concussion protocol that watched the video had to like drag him off the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just hockey players are a different breed. It's like you lose a tooth, you just like literally rip it out, and
Yeah,
then
you spit it out and get it there for your next shift.
yeah, and you don't replace it because it's a badge of honor, right? Like look at Ovi Ovechkin. The guy's how many teeth is he missing, and he's never actually replaced them because it's just like yeah, it looks
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Hockey players are crazy. All right, well, boys, any other Thunderbolts / New Avenger stuff? Or are we good to wrap
We're
this
good.
one up?
We're going to go see it.
Nope.
And I'm sure
Let-
we'll end up talking
right.
about it with cameras rolling at some point after we've all seen it. But go see
Yeah.
it.
Well,
and
we do have a couple new movies coming out soon. Mission Impossible. Got to see that. Final
I'm pretty sure I'm taking my wife to go see that one. That's one of our favorites.
I need to see it. And then Karate Kid Legends, they had the trailer play before the movie again. I don't know if it was the same one. I think it might have been a different one. I don't know if I'd seen it. I am absolutely in on it. I'm so there for it. I mean, Cobra Kai just heightened my appreciation for all things Karate Kid, and that trailer, it's just like, this is dope.
This
And like Jackie
everything I want.
Chan, Ralph Macchio, like all for it. So anyways, we'll have some more reviews coming up. But yeah, listeners, thank you for joining us. If you disagree with my assessment on Thunderbolts, well, let us know. Comment. I don't care. It's my opinion. I liked it.
We will be sure to ignore you.
Yeah. And but yeah, and as always, we just want to remind everybody that you can come and join us over on Patreon. For only a couple bucks, you can join us over there. Join us on our Discord. We're just getting ready to do our book club. We had to postpone, unfortunately, because these two gentlemen have elder responsibilities. So tisk tisk. But we're going to be doing that soon. We're going to have a new date for it. So if you're interested in reading The Princess Bride, a very interesting and surprisingly polarizing book, we would love to have you join us there. But until then, stay nerdy.